Everybody wants it, you know. They said Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Um. So anyway, so they say that everybody's looking at me right now. They're watching a movie, and so I guess I'll just talk about some of the things that I was just reading about in this book, and I'm blown away once again by, you know, the world just keeps surprising me. The world keeps surprising me with the level of disregard. I earlier used the word earlier. I used the word cruelty, but I've never really experienced. Um, Either I'm just really resilient, or I've never experienced like what I consider cruelty, like the utmost cruelty. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised by the breadth of betrayal. Not betrayal. That's not the word. Like the coordination of. I don't even know where to begin, bro. They be though. They be they, bro. They attack me from so many different angles. Literally, they don't let me breathe, bro. They don't let me breathe. They said that was the goal. They said that the objective was to just overwhelm me. But you know, it sucks to learn that you were 316. I was basically now I get why. I can appreciate. I get why, and I can appreciate um when they say that God so loved the world that he basically sacrificed his only begotten son for whatever reason. And the only thing that sucks about that, bro, the only thing that upsets me about that is like I'm forced to be here. I'm forced to exist in this very um, uncertain state. I mean, I'm certain of a few material facts. I'm certain of several material facts, but I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be here, and so they're awaiting the break. They're waiting on me to break, and honestly, I don't want to break, but I'm not averse to like the concept of non-existence. I'm not averse to the concept of just sheer non-existence, the opposite of awareness, the exact opposite of awareness and sensation and feeling and all of these things. Funny enough, I used to think that life was enjoyable. Bro, you want to know something? Everything that everything that I ever thought about life has been proven a lie. Man, y'all don't even know. So, um, so yeah, man, I'm just here, but I'm accepting. I told you that I've been forced to accept my status and to basically let go of let go of my ambitions, which I have. I've been forced to just to deal with the incessant pressures that assail me, literally. I didn't know the scope of the conspiracy. I didn't know the scope of the conspiracy. I didn't know that everybody. I didn't know that. I didn't know that when they said the one, like Neo from the Matrix, I didn't know that they meant like. I thought it was a movie. Firstly, I. But then further, I didn't know that it was literal. Like everybody, and so to be like that is a very peculiar way to exist, to be a singularity amongst billions of people, literally billions of people on the planet, and to exist as a singularity, to be singularly despised and hated by the entire planet. Um, Funny enough, I'm not particularly bothered by it. I don't need. I've never needed. Um, I've never needed anybody's approval. I've never needed anybody's affection. I've never needed anybody's. Well, yeah, I never needed it because I've never had it. I've never experienced it. But who cares? You know something about myself? I don't even like to. I don't even like to. Anyway, they just have this thing set up. They got this thing set up in such a way, like where I'm on stage, and so I'm forced to I'm forced to cope. I'm forced to cope in front of everybody. And it's like just it's so funny. Somebody keeps saying, "Here I go." Well, whatever. Yeah. So yeah. You know, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what life has in store. I don't know what life is about. I don't know. I don't have a clue what my life is gonna be. People have told me time and time again that they will be hunting me, chasing me, following me for the rest of my life. So I'll probably, I don't know. I don't know what type of life that's going to be. You know, but if when you don't have anybody, but they say I got myself, so that's really cool. They say I have myself, which seems that it could be really cool. And I'm just like, I'm like, why won't they finish it, bro? Why won't they just finish it? Like, why this? Why are you torturing me on TV? And well, the scene from King Kong that just came to mind, where Jack Black, where they have King Kong tied up, uh, on stage, and Jack Black is just like, they make a spectacle of his captivity and his torture, and but the scene actually belies um, the reality and the cruelty of the entire situation. They're making a spectacle of some guys. They're making a spectacle of a man's destruction. They make a public spectacle, kind of like they did Jesus Christ. But this is different. This is like a new. They call Somebody called it the modern day crucifixion, where it's not like this. It's not like a public beheading. This is like a drawn out public humiliation ritual, is what they actually called it specifically. They called it a public humiliation ritual. So imagine, one of the aspects of Neo. Neo's the one or whatever, and they always remind him of that fact that he's the one. So just imagine Neo being like Neo's, like the way that they pursue Neo. It's actually like this public humiliation and disrespect ritual. It's very hard to like categorize the attack. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised. I'm definitely surprised. And so it's what I mean. People have their reasons. People have their reasons for doing what they do. I just think it's funny, man. Damn, bro. I mean, I don't care. I never care. You know what's the most irritating aspect about this whole shit? It's involuntary. Like, I'm this quiet. I really am. Um I'm this short guy, this short quiet person who's not in everybody's way. I ain't trying to do like a bunch of shit or whatever. I'm just this short guy, and somehow the whole world, bro, like, with involuntarily, the whole world hates me, bro. And I didn't even do shit. I didn't even do anything. And the world just fucking hates my guts, bro. I guess, maybe, but maybe they have a point. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure about, everything that's on the table and how everybody brings their goods and their wares to the table. It's never a problem when everybody brings their shit to the table. But for some reason, it's a big problem for me. And so You know what? I consider, I'm considering my resignation. Not that I have any job or any title, that I hold any rank at all, literally. But I'm considering my personal resignation, just in life. You know why? And it's very rare it's a rare thing for me to say, because I've always been very resilient, stubborn even, when faced with different obstacles and, you know, things in my way. But you know, if the whole world, literally, if the whole world is just like, fuck you, dude, we don't like you. Fuck you, dude, we don't want you. Fuck you, dude, we don't, and I'm like, you know, I didn't even know. I didn't know anything about this shit, bro. I've been here all day, and I'm just like, damn. And so, um, so yeah. So I'm considering my resignation, um, because it's pointless. If you don't have nobody, the whole world hates you, and you don't have anybody, and and what good is the world and everything in it if you don't have anybody to share it with? People say this all the time, and so you know what I did? They say, what good is the world and everything in it if you don't have anybody to share it with? I've actually been I've been just giving away everything, bro. I've been giving away everything. So what does that mean? I don't know. Maybe it means my time is up. Maybe it means it's time for me to go. And I've been said that. I was like, I don't know why they just haven't finished it yet. So anyway, this is just my real world confession. My real world confessional. Then I keep hearing people in my ear. They're like, Michael, come here. I'm not coming anywhere else. That's done. I think I'm exhausted too, because my feelings aren't even hurt. Bro, things that used to hurt my, like, I'm not even hurt anymore. You want to know something? I'm gonna go ahead and tell this, man. So recently, this was probably like, people don't know that I left a domestic violence situation, ironically, with my adopted family. This after completing 10 years in prison. Only reason why I was living with them, I was 30 years old. The only reason why I was staying with them was because I had just completed 8 years in prison, and I had parole. So they said I needed a steady place. And so I stayed with them, but I really didn't want to go. I didn't want to go there. I never liked those people, my adopted family. Who, strangely enough, I thought they were my birth parents. I thought this was my birth mother for 33 years of my life. I found out 33 years later that I was adopted. I found out 33 years later that I was adopted, bro. But so I forgot what story I was just about to tell with that. But it's one I do want recorded. Oh, guess what she said? This is part of this is before. I'm 36 right now, or 37, they say. I don't even know. I'm 36. According to my birth certificate, I was born April 19th, 1990. I'm 36 years old right now. So prior to me running away from this domestic violence situation with my recently discovered adopted family, I got into an argument with my mother. And I couldn't understand why, bro. Literally, it was about nothing. I don't remember what we were arguing about, but it was literally about nothing, bro. And I literally couldn't grasp why she was so vitriolic. Why she was like gnashing her teeth. She was like, "Fuck you." Listen, you hear me talking proper and shit on these things, but this bitch was getting fucking disgusting in her fucking language and manner. It was disgusting behavior. It was totally disgraceful. It was just fucking disgusting. It was some shit that somebody should have punched that whole lights out, to be honest. And I told her that I was gonna beat her up if she hit me like the one time she jumped in my face. But I remained very calm. But we were arguing about something so trivial. I don't remember what it was specifically. And she was like, and she looked at me just like this. She was like, I'm gonna try to capture the look. We were arguing about something. She was already very aggressive in my face. I'm a small dude. I told you I'm a short guy. I'm really short. So a lot of women always already felt like they could just run over me and like handle me like that. I never got the respect. Oh, whatever. Who cares? You know, I'm a short dude. You ain't gotta. I'm just of short stature. So you can do the math from there about how women perceive me or whatever and treat me, whatever. But this is my mother. But we were arguing and she was like, I'm gonna try to capture the face. She was like, she gets very vitriolic. She does these faces that are just, I didn't know where it came from because I used to love her. I was like a mama's boy or whatever. She was like, I hate you. She was like, I wish I never had you. And when she said that, I remember it caught me so off guard. I was like, guess what else she said after that? This same time we was arguing, she said, she was like, guess who I killed? In the middle of us arguing, literally totally out of left field, she said, I hate you. She said, I wish I never had you. She said, guess who I killed? She was trying to hurt me. She said, guess who I killed? And I remember I was like, what? And I started thinking about like, damn, I'm like, it was one of those things like in the middle of an argument, it literally made me freeze because she said, guess who I killed? And I was like, guess who you killed? I was like, where'd that come from? The whole time though, everything she was saying was trying to rip my heart out with words. She was like, I hate you. She was absolutely serious. She was like, I hate you. She said, I wish I never had you. She was like, guess who I killed? And I was like, and the only way that I responded to her when she said she hate me and she wished she never had me, it really did. That time, it hit me like a blow. I was like, damn. I was like, well, bitch, I hate your ass too. I was like, bitch, I hate your ass too. You know, like, whatever. So I'm not even exaggerating. I'm just telling you the story the way that it happened. And so from then on, they were driving me crazy. I felt like Britney Spears. I felt like Britney Spears going through some conservatorship battle with my entire family. They were trying to drive me crazy. So I left a warm bed. Even though I was practically homeless, I was staying with my mom or whatever. I had a bed. Man, I left the comfort of a warm bed. The situation became so drastic that I left the comfort of a bed at least, and I bought a tent, and I was sleeping in a tent behind a gas station first. This was when I was still in Florida. I bought a tent, and I had to leave because I almost had a breakdown. I didn't almost have a breakdown. I'm very resilient. I came to a very stark conclusion that if I didn't get out of there, if I didn't leave that situation, that something bad was gonna happen. I was gonna end up in jail, in a crazy home, or dead or something. Likely the first two. Like in a crazy facility or fucking in jail, because they were literally trying to drive me crazy. uh Jamie Spears basically. And so I got a tent and I left the warmth of a bed and food and all that stuff, and I was sleeping in a tent behind a gas station. That's when I first became homeless. I left a secure situation, which it wasn't conducive for my sanity and for my well-being. But I left the comfort of a bed to be homeless because the situation was that dire. And so things just, I just I embraced my homelessness after that. I got my tent. I start sleeping behind the gas station. Then I decided that because I still wanted to seek employment at the time, I was still trying to seek employment. So I moved to Tampa, Florida. I moved from this little small town, Newport Richey, Florida, where my family was staying at. And I moved to Tampa, Florida, because it was a big city. And I just, I felt like there was more opportunity for me to be homeless. Like I decided that if I wanted to be homeless, I kind of wanted to be in a bigger city where I could still try to do things and try to be productive, try to, and so I moved to Tampa thinking that I was going to be able to get a job and like reestablish myself, having been doing very well since being home from incarceration. But everything didn't pan out exactly the way that I wanted to. I had two brief jobs and ended up getting fired for no reason. Then I made the decision. That's when I made the decision. Once I embraced my homelessness, I made the drastic decision to move across the country homeless. I had a few dollars put up, probably like a few $100s put up, and I bought a bus ticket and I picked a random place, a place that I had never been before, and I moved to Portland, Oregon. This was I'm proud to say this was almost 3 years ago. This was almost 3 years ago that I moved to Portland homeless. I'm still homeless now. Don't get it twisted. I got some subsidized housing right now, but I'm very much homeless. And but over these past few years, because I've been homeless now for like 4 years now, a solid 4 years. I've embraced it though. I told you I had to revert to I reverted to the bare necessities, water, food, and shelter. And I was like, that's all I need, man. So at this, it brings me back to like what I was talking about in the beginning, just my resignation. Like now, for the first time ever in my life, listen, I am one of the most adamant, I was one of the most ambitious and aspiring people that I ever knew. I was stubborn in my efforts and endeavors, and I don't like to quit. And literally, if it's something that I'm interested in, I don't quit, bro. And so now, for the first time in my life, I feel like, I feel this resignation, which has literally become like it's been working for me as far as just like letting everything go. So many, because so many things have happened. When a whole bunch of stuff is just coming at you from different angles, you have a few different options. You could allow yourself to be overwhelmed, or you can just tap into a deeper zen within yourself and kind of just accept. You kind of just accept whatever comes. And that's where I'm at now. And not accepting of whatever comes, but literally I'm like, bro, I'm at the point now where like, if you don't have anybody, then life is, if you don't have anybody, then life, I don't know. Well, for the first time in my life, I'm struggling to find meaning and purpose. For the first time in my life, I'm struggling to find meaning and purpose. Even when I caught 10 years, which was a devastating moment in my life, man, I was so stubborn in my determination to go home better than ever before. Before I even went to prison, before I even went up the road, I made determination that I was going to go home better than I ever went in, and I did that. And I think I did it too well, believe it or not, because it offended some people. And I guess they felt the need to turn me down, or like, they said, whatever, you're too much. That's what she told me too. Once another time we were arguing, she looked at me, she was like, you too much. And I was like, what? Bro, I'm not even gonna try to describe the petty bickering and the non-issues that were problems every day around these people. And that's when I knew that something was amiss. I don't know if you don't know the feeling of being around family and just knowing that there's a conspiracy surrounding you in your own family, in the midst of your own family. And I couldn't put my finger on it. And that's what almost drove me crazy. That was during COVID-19, the great pandemic. And that was, man, those 2 years from 2020 to 2022. No. I'm gonna say just 2020 by itself, because I've had some okay years. They were still tough. Everything after COVID-19 was tough, but man, during that COVID stretch, the lockdown stretch, and all that, man, that was the worst time of my life. Worse than any time I even did in prison, man. It was very, very tough for me. Very tough. I was under attack by my own family, and I didn't have anywhere to go. I had just came home from prison, and I was on parole. I didn't have anywhere to go. It's like I was locked in. Oh my God, it was horrible. So yeah, anyway, so now I find myself at this point. Um, I guess Zen is the only way that I can describe my my current existence. I basically, I don't have any money. I don't have money, and I don't have material possessions. I don't have anything, bro. I don't go anywhere. I don't have a social life. And but I just keep going, man. I guess that's the stubborn part of my nature that just refuses to drop dead, if such a thing is even possible. So we'll figure it out or not. I don't even, this whole out thing. I don't even care about going outside no more. I'm like, bro, I don't care, bro. It's not that big a deal, man. You know something. I'm just like, at this point, I'm almost feeling like, damn, bro, why the fuck did you have to have me, bro? Oh, like, because it would have just been so much easier if you just didn't have me. So, I've been considering that state of non-existence. I'm too stubborn to ever do anything to myself. So I'm just existing in this state of Zen, or trying to achieve this ultimate Zen. And for me, and I'm gonna end with this. For me, um, if there's nothing like, well, according to, I don't know. I'm just gonna sign off. So yeah, I wanted to get that off my chest and say that. And here's to here's to my ultimate serenity. So help us God.